nuts. Out of my friends, I want Audis. Smoking on booth and it's my weed.
So, welcome back, y'all. It's your girl Diamond here with another story time. Today, we're going to be talking about the time when I was talking to this guy and I think he stole my gun. Okay? Maybe y'all can help me finally figure out if he stole my gun. Alright, let's get ready. So, met this tall, dark, chocolate, educated black man in April, right? And I was at this event. It's like a singles event. It was an adult Easter egg hunt. Fun, okay, very much so fun. He approached me. He sparked conversation with me. I wasn't going there looking for nobody or nothing like that. I was just going there with, at the time, my homegirl, just to have a good time, right? So we vibe really well, exchanged numbers, talked, found out we had a lot of stuff in common. Been through the same trauma issues. We thought the same way. He's very educated young man. And at the time, we was looking for a relationship. Okay, cool. So I started kicking with him. We started kicking with each other really tough. Like I said, it's going well. We went on a little trip together. That was fun. We had a great time. Came back. At the time, he was kind of financially struggling for personal reasons. But he had a really good job. He was a teacher. And he just started, so he was just really like getting his foot in the door and stuff like that. But I'm the type of person, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I don't try to look at people for what they don't have, because I understand what it feels like, because I've been there. So, this is why I think he stole my gun, okay? I had bought me a gun because I had got robbed with my business. I had got robbed, and I didn't feel safe anymore. So I bought me a gun, right? So I took my gun. I never had to carry a gun nowhere, or I wasn't used to carrying a gun. I was low-key kind of intimidated of guns a little bit. I started going to the gun range so I can start getting familiar with my gun and stop being like so scared of it at the end of the day. So this time I had came to his house. I used to carry my gun everywhere. Wasn't used to just like packing my gun everywhere or whatever. So I left it in his car, in my car in his apartment complex or whatever. I was at his house for the weekend. Okay. That first night, I got there Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Cause I left Sunday. I got there Friday night, left my gun in the car. Okay. At that time, he was going through financial problems. Okay. But he had his own car, he had his own place, and he had a job. But he was still going through financial problems. But I left my gun in the car that Friday night, and he didn't know it was in the car. You know, I didn't tell him it was in the car, nothing. Then Friday night, we had a good night. We watched TV, ate, laughed. We had a good night. So the next day is Saturday, right? My homeboy, he has a cookie shop. I ordered some cookies from him, okay? And I had to go pick up my cookies. I had to go pick up one of my cookies. So I asked him if he wanted to ride with me. He said, yeah, he'll ride with me, right? When we go outside, he noticed that my tire was kind of low. So when we got closer to my car, he noticed that it was a nail in my tire, which was a nail in my tire. And so he suggested, not me, he was like, hey, won't you take my car to go pick up the cookies, and I take your car to go get your tire fixed, and we just meet back at my place. So at the time, I was like, oh, that's a really nice gesture. That's sweet. Okay, no problem. Still, my gun is in the car. I forgot that it was in the car. He didn't know that it was in the car, right? Okay. No problem. I go get my cookies. He go get my tire fixed. We meet back at his place. I never thought to go check my door in my car because I feel like common sense, if somebody's driving your car, they will have the courtesy of locking your doors back or making sure your car is safe, just like I did with his car, you know. So that was common sense, but I guess not. So, we go back in the house for the rest of the night. This is like midday. Like, I look at my cookies midday. So we in the house for the rest of the day. Like, he cooked dinner. We watching TV. We dancing to music. We laughing. We having a good time. It was a great time. Go to bed. Wake up. He got to go pick up somebody from the airport. I got to go home and go to church. Okay? I get up. I drive home. I realize when I get home that my gun wasn't in the car. And so I'm confused. Because my gun was in my middle of my console in my car. So you had to go through my car or go through the console to find the gun, right? I called him. I was like, hey, have you seen my gun? Was my gun in the car? And he was like, oh yeah, your gun was in the car. Because mind you, he had my car Saturday. And this is Sunday. He's like, oh yeah, I seen your gun was in the car. Because what made me think of it, when he went and got my tire changed or whatever, he paid for it. And when I took his car, I put gas in his car. So we kind of like the money that he used for my tire and the money I put in the gas, I put more. So he left change for me in the car. So we can kind of have like an even swap thing or whatever. So he had the change for me. He said he wrapped it up in a receipt and put it in the middle of my cup holder. That's what he said. He put the money in the middle of my cup holder. And so I'm like, okay. So when I was driving home, I realized, and when I finally get home, I realized, okay, where's the money? There's no money in my cup holder. And so I raised with my console up, and I'm like, there's no gun. I'm like, I know I brought my gun. I was confused. I'm like, maybe I left it in the house. I go in the house and look on my nightstand where I normally leave it. It wasn't there. So I called him, and I'm like, hey, you see my gun? He was like, oh yeah, I seen your gun on the phone, right? He's like, oh yeah, I seen your gun. I was like, well, it's not in my car no more. He was like, I said, and the money not in there neither. And he was like, man, I must have left your car door open. Somebody must have went in your car and took your gun. We're gonna pause for a second. He didn't. So I'm like, so you didn't lock my door back? You didn't. My car's been there for the day before. Like, why would I didn't even accuse him? I didn't say he was lying. I didn't do none of that. He was like, don't worry, I'm gonna sell my computer. I'm gonna help you get your gun back. I'm gonna sell my laptop, because he had 2 laptops. He's like, I'm gonna sell my laptop and get you the money for your gun. And in my mind, I didn't say nothing, or out loud, I didn't say nothing. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I just got robbed. Now somebody stole my gun. Like, like, I just took it for what it was. It was gone. There's nothing I could do about it. It was gone. And I'm like, well, why would somebody target my car? Out of all the cars in the parking lot, they target mine? And they took the extra money that was in the console, the cup holder section. I was like, all right. So he was like, he gonna sell his computer. He never sold his computer. I never, every time he told me he was gonna give me money for my gun, first of all, I feel like if you really didn't, I understand you feel bad that my gun got stolen. But for you to off top be like, I'm gonna sell something of mine to help you pay for yours, it kind of low key made me feel like he was guilty. I don't know. Maybe y'all feel some different type of way, but I felt like he was kind of guilty. And then I didn't want to bring up the fact that, well, you going through hard times, so maybe you stole it, but in your mind you justified it and say, I'm gonna pay her back, but I really am in a bind right now. Maybe, I don't know, but I had got annoyed with him because now it's weeks I haven't got any type of money for my gun. He keeps I had bought him $60 worth of groceries out the kindness of my heart because he ain't had no food. Okay, and it's not to shame him or bash him or none of that. This is just pure facts. And this was before my gun magically disappeared. I had bought this for him. So when he told me he was gonna sell his computer, I didn't want him to, but if that's what you said you was gonna do, then okay, that's what you said you was gonna do. I didn't offer that, you offered that. So that's what I'm expecting. But he never did. But I never brought it up. Then he was like, when the computer thing never got sold, I didn't say nothing. He would on his own bring up, hey, I know I gotta give you some money for your gun. I just said okay. I never brought up the gun situation, never said nothing about it. Nothing. Because I just took it for what it was. It's like 2.5 weeks passed, right? And I had said what did I say? What did I say? Because I don't want to lie on him. I don't want to lie on him. Oh, okay, I didn't say nothing. He said something. He called me. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you some money for your gun." And we kind of got into about the little grocery thing or whatever, because he was like, "I'm gonna send you the money back for the groceries." He said, "I'm gonna send you the money back for the groceries or whatever." And I was like, "Nah, you don't gotta send me money back for the groceries. I did that for you out of the kindness of my heart." And he was like, "Nah, because you need money for the gun anyway, so I'm gonna send you the money back for the groceries so you can put that towards your gun." That's what he said. He never did that neither. I never said nothing about it. Never said nothing about it. And as this is going on, our relationship is like, we was going to talking to each other every day, or he was coming to see me, to where like we still talking to each other every day. But first he was calling me on his breaks. He was calling me literally on every break he had. He was calling me, to where now he don't even call me when he at work or none of that. He called me when he finally get home, late at night. And I was noticing that. Or like he was going out, but you want us to be friends, but you don't invite me out. You're not trying to get closer to me. It's like you're distancing yourself away from me. I feel like that was weird. I felt like that was really weird, because that's not what we were doing. And all of a sudden my gun got stolen, and then your patterns changed, right? Wouldn't that be kind of weird? So I started, I was already friends with him on Instagram and stuff like that. He's going out, he's spending money, but he's telling me that he's going through hard times and stuff like that. And I'm noticing it. Not saying you're not supposed to go out and enjoy life and buy you something, but if you said you was gonna do something, be a man of your word. And then I feel like karma got back to him. Why I really feel like he stole my gun is because 3 weeks after my gun got stolen, okay, he was out, and somebody broke into his car. He didn't have nothing in his car, but I guess they got mad that he had nothing in his car and shattered all his windows. Shattered his back window and the big back window. I take that as karma, because why would somebody target your car out of all cars and then shatter your windows, and then the amount of damage that you had to pay was the same amount I spent on my gun. I'm just telling the story. Okay? So he's calling me about this, and in my mind I'm like, karma. I think you really stole my gun. And then so I brought up bruh, after he got over that, he got his window fixed and stuff like that or whatever, I eventually got fed up with him keep telling me he's going to give me money. And I brought it up to him, and he got so mad. He got so mad. He was like, "You being lame, you watching me, you trying to count my pockets." And I was like, wait a minute. Ain't nobody trying to count your pockets. I'm holding you accountable for what you said that you was going to do. You said you was going to send me some money. You said you was going to pay for my gun. You said you was gonna sell your computer. I ain't never asked you to do none of that, bruh. So I'm gonna hold you accountable for what you said you was gonna do, because at that time I had already bought me another gun, but I didn't want him to know I bought me another gun because you said you was gonna pay for it, because it was stolen when my car was in your possession and you didn't supposedly lock my door back. So that's technically your fault that somebody went into my car, searching in my car, and stole my gun because you was careless and didn't lock my car door back. That's how I look at it. I don't know how y'all look at it, but that's exactly how I look at it. So because he was mad, he quickly sent me $50. Oh, so you got the money. You just didn't want to give it to me. You got the money. And then gonna call back and be like, yeah, I'm gonna send you some more when I get paid. Okay. No problem. You do that. Because I need my money for my gun. As promised, he sent me $100. He sent me another $100 2 weeks after that. He sent me another $100 2 weeks after that. Because I told him that I feel like you stole my gun. I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief. You're not a thief. Okay. But you paying me back for a gun. But you're not a thief. I'll take it. So, long story short, okay, I got $350 back from my gun. I originally paid after tax, it was like $4 something. It's like $417. So I was satisfied. And then the replacement gun I bought, which I should have went to Academy the first time, I paid around $275 for. Okay. I don't know if he stole my gun. I feel like he stole my gun. It looked like he stole my gun. I think he stole my gun. Please tell me what y'all think. Based off of the details I gave y'all, based off of how he was acting, how antsy he was to help me buy another gun. Not saying people not generous, and it's because it's just like, if somebody came to my house and their car got towed and it wasn't my fault that their car got, well, no, it's not really the same thing, because he was driving my car and he supposedly didn't lock my door back. Because I was going to say, when somebody's car gets towed at somebody's apartment that came and visit them, you feel bad, but you don't feel like you're responsible. But sometimes you do feel like you're responsible, so you'll offer to help pay some. Not the whole toll, but some. But you was willing to pay 95% of my gun. So that made me feel like you stole it. And maybe you felt like, okay, I must take this now, but I'm going to pay her back so she can replace her gun. That's how I felt. Like, to this day, that's how I feel like. I feel like the nigga stole my gun. But tell me what y'all think. Put it in the comments below. If I'm wrong, if I'm viewing it wrong, maybe he was just being a nice guy, but that relationship is totally ruined because I think he stole my gun. And I ain't talked to him since. And he was a nice guy. Oh well. Until then, thank you for listening to my story time. Be blessed.
Double cup, big come straight, hold me nuts. I don't want friends, I want Audi.